I am DYANAROZAY, and I bring a unique commentary to your favorite reality TV shows and whatever is popping on social media. If you are not a subscriber, please become one. Hit that notification bell too, that way you don't miss any of my videos. I go by DYANAROZAY on all platforms, and I appreciate every single one of y'all for rocking with me. What's up, Supreme Team? What's up, Supreme Team? Welcome to the channel. Welcome, everybody. I hope you can hear the sound of my voice. If you can, you know what to do. Drop your side dish into the chat while we talk about these folks right here. Listen, Dennis and Porsha, oh my goodness. My goodness. Dennis and Porsha, also Shamia and Gerald. Also, my goodness, Miss Pinky Cole and Dave, baby, they are these couples, they're interesting. Even though Porsha is not in a coupleship with Dennis, baby, but Dennis is out here still claiming, and Dennis is a type of man that if you were to date him, if you were to date a Dennis, he's the person that would make your mind go crazy because you're constantly worried about what's going on with him and his baby mama. The way Dennis literally, oh my goodness, I have to tell y'all some things that I saw at the end of this episode. So stick around for it, because Dennis did a whole bunch of telltale signs outside of the obvious, but just what he did when he walked into the house that let me know he got some problems over there. Okay, come on in, you guys. It's nice to have y'all. I see you, Miss Queen T. Welcome, girl. Nice to have you. What's up, Direese? Hey, Miss Harris. Nice to have you. Yes, y'all, it is a problem. What is up, Miss Charlene? Girl, what's the tea? You said you got the tacos and the fixings. Thank you, girl, because it is Taco Tuesday. Okay, so you guys, we're going to jump right into it. I'm not even going to hold y'all. Take the poll at the top of the chat and let me get my notes up. Let me get my notes up while we talk about these men and women. Okay, so listen. I was watching the interview with Porsha earlier, the one she did with Carlos King. It was really interesting. And we'll get to that, her and Shamia, in just a second. But it opens with Pinky Cole, you guys. She is doing some sort of community give back that she does every single year. I guess she is a big, she's really big in charity, a big philanthropist. And we'll talk about that a little bit more. But right now she is hosting an event over at her Edgewood location, the one that has been listed in her bankruptcy, I'm assuming for not paying rent. Anyway, Kelly stops in, and Kelly is there to debrief, I guess, get the tea from Pinky Cole, who is freely communicating her bankruptcy. Girl, I might have to file bankruptcy. Now, we've seen her do this, 3 times already? They show us a clip of her talking to K. Michelle. Now she's sharing it with who else? With Kelly. I think she might have shared it with Cynthia. She's sharing it with every damn body. But she's out here talking, child, and she's like, I gotta file for bankruptcy. I'm not sure if I'm gonna make it. My bills is kicking my ass. And Kelly said, listen, same shit's happening with me. All of the debt that I have from my ex is pounding the life out of me. I've already lost a restaurant, which we know, and some other things. And then she said that it's all taken her through there. And I guess this is some sort of kinship between the two of them. But when Kelly gets in the confessional, Kelly said, baby, your husband is worth $100 million, referring to Pinky Cole. Because a lot of people have been talking about Pinky Cole's husband like he ain't got it like that. And yeah, I told y'all the other week that he absolutely does. Okay. There was a whole big write-up about him in Forbes and the rest of it that said his money is long. Now, true enough, Pinky Cole's restaurant is the one that they wanted to franchise. And I got some more tea on that as well, because I used to listen to a show called The Friend Zone with Dustin Ross, who else? Asante, who I believe is from Atlanta, and who else was on it? Hey Fran Hey. And they were talking about a huge, crazy problem that happened with Pinky Cole a few years ago. And I'm going to get to that in just a little bit, okay? Because we need to talk about Pinky Cole's whole history. But anyway, Kelly says, baby, even if you don't got it, Dave does. He's worth 100 million, bitch. So you sitting here talking like we in the same boat. We are not. I don't have anybody to give me the money I need. So I'm asking for it. God, please bestow it upon me. But you got it, ho. Anyway, after all of that, Kelly also tells Pinky that Phaedra said that Phaedra said she was a fake vegan who enjoys a little chicken and waffles every now and then. Every once in a while, she enjoys to eat the meat. And Pinky said, listen, baby, I became this is actually how it happened. Pinky told her that she's been a vegan since 2007, which is what, 19 years? So she hasn't always been a vegan, like it didn't start in childhood or something. It started in her adulthood. But Pinky says, yeah, I've been a vegan since 2007. So anytime somebody would come to you, Pinky, and says, when did you start being a vegan, or how, has this been a lifestyle for all of your life? It seems to me that you would say, no, actually, back in the day, I did used to eat meat past whatever, blah, 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 blah. But she doesn't say that. What she actually says in this conversation is, how dare Phaedra be out here telling people that I eat meat? That can affect my business. And then they do a flashback. And lo and behold, it wasn't Phaedra who said she ate meat. Guess who said she ate meat? Put it in the chat. Who is the one that has been spreading the rumor that she was eating a big, fat, juicy steak and said she saw it with her own eyes? No other than Kelly. Kelly, the person who is sitting in her restaurant right now, in that scene, sitting in her restaurant, eating a damn slutty vegan burger and French fries, talking about how good it was. When they flash it back, they actually show Phaedra saying she ate. She has a restaurant. She had a restaurant that served meat, which is not the same as saying she ate meat, but all the same. Like I said, she's only been a vegan for 19 years, which is a long time. But damn it, you did used to eat meat back in the day. It's Shamia and Kelly that's carrying a bone, and y'all got Pinky out here acting like she about to drag Phaedra for whatever the reason is. And when she says it, bitch, I was sitting there like, well, Kelly, are you going to chime in and let people know that it was you? The answer is no. Kelly sat there and continued to smack on that damn vegan burger. Smack on that vegan burger like she never said it. And the cameras literally rolls back to her saying, I saw her. I saw her with my own two peepers eat a burger. Anyway, I'm not sure if I'm cool with Pinky saying that it's going to ruin her business, considering she's married to a carnivore, that he is a huge deal. Like that man, like I said, if he is worth $100 million, it's because he served cows. His cheesesteak is a big deal. So if you're married to a man who eats meat, I mean, like, I don't think it's going to ruin your business to say that you used to eat meat back in the day. I don't know. Either way, let's move on to Shamia and Gerald. Shamia and Gerald are at home in Shamia's big old closet that looks like it takes over the whole second floor. She has stylists up there. The kids is up there playing in her shoes. And then she also had her husband, Gerald, who literally looked like he was just there so he didn't get fined. Okay? He stood there like he was being held hostage. And a lot of people have been saying that the man is shy to be on camera. I don't think it's shy, because I've seen Gerald on camera on social media when they were hanging out with Porsha and Simon, and he was like, my brother this, my brother that, drinking and shit. He was having a good old time. And usually people that are camera shy in all areas. Don't take my picture, don't take my video. And I don't like these people in my house. Gerald had a complete and total attitude, not just I'm shy. He had an attitude like, yeah, no. Like the way he was answering her, to the point of where she made a face. I don't know if people caught it, but she made a face like, literally like that. Like, could you please give me a little more energy? You can tell that she's pissed. But I don't think it's just because he's camera shy. I don't think that's the situation. I don't think that he likes to talk about his personal business on TV. And it could be, he's just a very private guy for sure. But he did agree to be a part of this with Shamia. If he gave the blessing, then yeah, she's a part of the show. It's Real Housewives of. Okay. So she has to do something with her husband a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Even Ralph, when him and Drew were going through the thick of their divorce, they're still in it actually. Even he stayed on camera, and he's not getting paid to be here. He's not even getting paid to be on the show. And he showed up to say, yeah, I can't stand Drew anymore. So I don't know. I don't want people saying that Real Housewives of Atlanta broke up that relationship. I think that Gerald and Shamia, they might not be too tight. Also, last year, Shamia walked around, I believe, France or Italy or Spain, some country, with a whole videographer. And they were taking pictures of the entire trip. Pictures, video, the whole thing. So I'm not buying the shy shit personally. I just think that he doesn't agree with her being on the show. And even though he said yes, he didn't want to. He didn't want to. So I don't know what's going on. But either way, Shamia's throwing him little softball questions to see if he would answer. Do you like me in this dress? Yeah. Now, do you think I'm beautiful? Yeah. Like, he's just being ugly, in my opinion. He could give more. And then all of a sudden he warms up. Don't ask me how or why, but he ends up saying that he received the legal documents for their new surrogate. This is something he seemed kind of excited about. I received the legal documents for the surrogate. And then Shamia explains that they terminated the last surrogate. She said we had to terminate the last surrogate because she had a previous failed IVF cycle, and they didn't want to roll the dice on her. So they're moving with someone, I guess, who's had a successful cycle every time. But then when she asked Gerald, how does he feel about using their last male embryo, he shuts down again. He does not want to talk about it. We'll figure it out when we get there. And yeah, basically he just turns around to walk out. She makes this comment. She invites him to go out to Dallas with her. Hey, Deidre, nice to have you, girl. Welcome, welcome, welcome. That's one of my members. First, she asked him if he would come out with her. He says no. She explains it in her confessional. Oh, he just, he doesn't like to hang around the girls. He doesn't seem to want to hang around you too much either. His energy is awful. But she goes, I asked anyway. At least I asked. All of this is being done under duress. I just want y'all to know. She's saying to the cameras or to her bosses, I did what you guys asked me to do. I asked him the question. At least he's here for this little moment. And he's basically saying, I don't want to be here at all. And I'm not too sure if I want to be with you at all, to be honest. I don't know. He wants babies by his wife. Well, don't ask me. Shamia has a very much outside personality. We know that she is an extrovert. She's on the radio. She's hosting. She's doing things for the sports teams here. She does movies. She does a lot of things. I get that what she does isn't what he does, but if she can participate with him at whatever he's doing, because they seem like they are polar opposites in every way. These little couple of seconds that he show up on screen, I don't think that's a big sacrifice, but it seems to be. It seems to be, and it makes her look bad, unfortunately, in my opinion. Okay. Come on in, everyone. Thank y'all. Hit the like button, share the video. All right, let's move on to Porsha and Mike Bless. So Mike Bless came knocking on the door with all his muscles and big ass neck and big bowling ball head, y'all. Anyway, he knocked on the door. He said the only reason why he knocked is because he did not have a key. And then Porsha came with her huge behind child. Porsha be bringing all the boys to the yard, and she does not mind showing it off. She showed up at the door. Anyway, they pretend to kiss. I don't know why no one is paying attention to this. He almost tucked his lips in to kiss her. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. When you kiss, you pucker up. Okay? You bend down, you pucker up. That was the driest, ugliest kiss ever. And then when she went in for the second kiss, he kissed her on the cheek, the same way Martell did to Sheree. Fake, fake, fakety, fake, fake, fake. The same way Martell did Sheree when they were on that show. Like, well, where do I kiss you? Nowhere, because you don't kiss. That's obvious, okay? Anyway, after that, Porsha wanted to show him that, 2 dozen or 3 dozen bed of flowers, roses that she bought herself, had delivered, put a message on herself. Because Mike sure in the hell didn't buy him. She had to say, wait a minute, like he forgot the script, and move him to the table where the flowers were. He didn't even see him, and it was the huge centerpiece on the table. She dragged his ass over to it. Unlike how Dennis is about to see it at the end, right? Hey, first of all, thank you for the beautiful flowers. Mike says nothing. Mike says nothing like, oh man, they did a great job, or I always use this company. He says nothing. She goes, they're gorgeous. He goes, you're gorgeous. Like, I'm not even about to lie about this shit because I don't want it to come back up later. I love this. I love it. Anyway, Porsha ends up taking him to the back room. Okay, I guess this is some sort of closet space where Porsha does all the talking. Mike gets off a couple of jokes, does his little stance like he's a b-boy or whatever. And Porsha acts like she is, attracted to him, even though there's no chemistry. I don't care. No chemistry whatsoever. She had more chemistry with Dennis, okay? None. Anyway, she ends up telling him stuff that she wants the cameras to know, right? The viewers to know. Listen, baby, there's a whole bunch of people out there talking to me, wishing me broke, talking about I shouldn't have sold my first house and I need to move my big ass back over there and let my mama move back to blah, blah, blah. But she said, baby, that house is the house I bought with my first check, okay, after I gave Cordell the boot, or he gave her the boot, right? Or he gave her the boot. She said, that was a place of pride for me. That was a place where I raised my child a good portion of those years. So there's a lot of memories in that house. But the other thing that was in that house was $1 million worth of equity. And baby, this is my new life. This the one that everybody calls Simon's, this is mine. So I'm selling this fucking house. I'm getting my $1 million plus equity up out that. And I'm doing what I'm supposed to do for me, because quiet as kept, even though everybody wants me to be, the Black Chrissy Snow, which she's not on this show. She used to be with all the other stuff, but she said, not this time around, baby. This time around, Porsha takes care of Porsha. Despite what people think, I'm planning for my future. I'm not here for a good quick time. I'm here for a long time, right? And then she started asking Mike about his goals, and this is where everything ends, right? She's like, just curious, I got my one. You don't have kids yet. Are you thinking about would not having kids be a deal breaker for you? And he said, hell yeah. And that's how that scene ends. But basically, it was a nice, cute wrap up, right? Mike clearly wants babies. Porsha clearly isn't giving him any. At least that's how she's making it in the scene. And so she does this huge gasp, like, girl, and scene. Good for Porsha. Hey, Erica, welcome to the chat. All right, next scene. We have Kay Michelle. She's at home. This wasn't pretty much anything. Kay's at home packing for her girls' trip, and she basically just lets everybody know on camera, I don't do girls' trip. I've never been on a girls' trip. I know who I plan to be, and I'm not sure if the girls are ready for me. That was it. And her targets are Porsha and Fedra. So whether they give me a reason to go off or not doesn't matter. It's just going to be how, the wind blows or how I feel once I'm there. That was what it was giving. So that's the end of it. Come on in. Hey, Lady Blue 57. You said Porsha's interview with CK. Yes, in her interview with CK today, she said that she had found out that she had fibroids, that the fibroids came back and that she won't be having children even if she wanted them. So she had to, deal with that. I think she said she got the information on the day they filmed that interview, but it was good. It was a good interview. Anyway, let's talk about Porsha, Angela, and Fedra. This was a good scene. I actually laughed my butt off, all because of Charles Oakley. Charles Oakley is truly the gift that keeps on giving on this show. And Angela got herself a keeper. He really does deserve a peach. I know people used to say that Peter Thomas deserved a peach. I think that Charles Oakley deserves his peach right now. Give that man his flowers. Because Porsha ends up inviting the ladies to a cycling class. And I don't know if y'all have ever been to one, but they don't play in those cycling classes, okay? If you don't break us, it's their job. Let's put it this way. It is the instructor's job to make you walk up out of there a sweaty, hot mess. And the way those three ladies kept their cool told me everything I needed to know. The only one who looked like they were slightly sweating is Angela. And we know that she runs hot no matter what. Angela runs hot the majority of the time, whether she's cycling or not. So part of it was just that the bitch is hot. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, long story short, Angela gets dropped off by Charles, which is funny because Angela should have a driver or a car of her own. But Charles ends up dropping Angela off to the cycling class. And I would have expected him to, slow down a little bit and then kick the door open and push Angela out while the wheels were still rolling. Just a little bit. Push her on out the car and be like, listen, you know what I'm saying? Call an Uber back to the house. I got shit to do. But what he ends up doing is walking her up to the door of the exercise class. And while he's walking up, there's this cute little fake scene where Phaedra's walking in and she just says, hello. And Charles said, have we met before? Because y'all remember Charles laid Porsha out, or not Porsha, Charles laid Phaedra out on the reunion and said, baby, just because we're in the same rooms and I speak to you does not mean we've met. So never get it twisted. This time he said, do I know you? And then Phaedra turned around and said, oh, and Angela did the introduction. And so they formally meet. And I just thought that scene was so funny. That was actually really cute. But Phaedra was like, listen, I'm not playing with that man. She could tell she was just a little bit scared. She said, they out here making up rumors about me being the godfather. Charles Oakley is truly the godfather. And I would like to stay neutral where that man is concerned, okay? So that both of our families can live. Please do not play with me. I thought that was the cutest little thing. Anyway, kudos to Charles for playing along. I don't know if y'all realize how big of a deal this is. And a man of Charles Oakley's caliber, he is a retired basketball player and a no-nonsense one at that. For him to be on this show and to play along the way he is with his wife to support her, that's love, that's support. So I am enjoying Angela and Charles. I really am, as a couple on this show. Anyway, the ladies are inside on their stationary bikes, child. And the only one that's breaking a sweat, like I said, is the instructor. He was a sweaty ass mess. And Angela Oakley. After they finish playing around, child, they end up getting off those bikes and talking a little bit. And in confessional, Angela reminds the people, y'all know I had a problem with both Porsha and Phaedra last season. And I still do, okay? At the very minimum, even though I'm hanging out with them, I ain't forgot what they did. So I'm keeping my good eye on both of them. But she's sitting there, and y'all know Angela's a little bit of a shit starter. I think she feels like y'all can't whoop me, so I really don't care. She's not, even though she's not as pushy or as, I'm going to say ignorant as Kelly has been, or even K Michelle, she does push a little mess into the girl's lap, right? But Porsha ends up telling Phaedra that K Michelle said Pinky Cole got an issue with you, something about you spreading rumors that she eats meat. Phaedra said, I didn't spread no rumor like that. I don't even know why she would fix her mouth to say some dumb shit like that. Why? I've known that lady for over 15 plus years. And this is a storyline she's bringing to have beef with me. That's what she was really saying. Anyway, Angela ends up saying it was Shamia who told it because they show a little group session with all of them. And she said it was Shamia who told it. Again, they do a flashback. We see that it's Phaedra who tells Shamia she used to own a rib joint. Ribs are meat, okay? It's pork to be exact. So she was like, she did own it. Well, I'm not lying about it. Why wouldn't the heifer just fess up to it? Anyway, after all of that, Phaedra said that Pinky Cole should stop worrying about meat and what I said and start worrying about all those damn people she owed money to. And this isn't a rumor. This didn't come out the blogs. This is on serious news sources, not just in the Atlanta area, but this baby's name is all over financial news stations. So why would she have that conversation about me? All true, Phaedra. I agree. Anyway, they also talk about Pinky Cole's charity event that she has coming up. And Porsha said, we all have been assigned, unlike what Shamia did last year in her charity thing for Grenada. She said, we've all been assigned specific things to bring as a part of our giving to Miss Pinky Cole's charity. And she said, bitch, I had to buy $4,000 worth of vegan formula. And then Phaedra started pumping her breast. She started squeezing and said, bitch, I would have squeezed out this dry ass milk before I would have paid $4,000 on formula. I don't know who she thinks I don't know who she thinks she's asking for money from, but that's a damn no. She gonna get this box of crayons and that's it. Anyway, it was funny to me. So that's how it ends. And now we are on to Angela and her team. So Angela has her little investment team. Angela said, yeah, I had plenty of advice when I was, trying to flip them damn houses. I had bought myself a mansion. I had some other, little raggedy spots. Anyway, people from all over was coming out the woodwork to say, baby, don't do that. Baby, do it this way. Girl, don't buy another house. Whatever the advice was, she said, I didn't take not one bit. I said, y'all, and I will do it my way. And I failed big time. She said, this time, though, I am going to bring in a team of people who might know a little more than me to help me in my next venture. Because even though what I did last time was a failure, that doesn't mean I'm supposed to curl up and die, baby. Okay? You fail, you get back up, you dust your damn knees off, and you try again. So she is sitting at this table with about 8 other people. And she's like, I've decided I want to sell bedazzled fans. So y'all remember last season, people were calling Angela Fangela. And there were people who just, fans of hers that loved her, that were walking around with fans, okay, to show their appreciation for Angela. So Angela said, well, I'm gonna start selling these fans. I want you guys to tell me how this works. And so you can see people saying, well, how many fans do you want to sell? How much do you want to put in as an investment? Blah, 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 blah. So they're trying to get the units and the numbers together. And then you hear Angela say, well, I think we should start out with at least 50,000. And I'm going to ask Charles for half of that. And as soon as she said Charles for half, you see him walk back into the scene. So Charles is back. Charles is back on the show. Damn it, Charles. I am loving this. Keep taking the poll at the top of the chat, you guys. So I am like, this is cool to see. He comes back in. He said, oh, okay. Like, all of a sudden, I'm dropping your ass off, you and her daughter, because her daughter was sitting right beside her, looked just like her. I'm dropping your ass off for your team meeting, and here you are bringing me up and more money. And then he sits down, and she said, would you like to be the male spokesperson for the fan? And he said, no, that does not align with my brand. Okay, the people that know me are not buying bedazzled fans. So already, before your team interjects, the answer's no. Your team should have said no, but the answer's no. And Angela gets this look over her face like, you can tell that she might be just a little bit like, don't embarrass me here. Anyway, she says to him, how about investing into this new project? And she just flat out asked him for $25,000. And he said, so you're doing more investments. You're trying yet again. And the way this scene was cut, you can tell that Charles got his big one off, but it ended with him saying yes. So they literally clipped the scene, because when he was talking that first go round, everybody's eyeballs was this big, including her daughter and her. She looked like, oh my God, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what you're going to say. And then finally he said, okay, I'll give you the 25,000. And she was like, thank you. And then they show the two of them shaking on it. In confessional, I wish Angela wouldn't have done this. All Angela had to say was, my husband supports me despite what people think. But she said, I'll pay him back in the bedroom later. Nobody's buying that, Angela. Not that y'all probably don't get it on, but the man didn't even want to smack your ass on the first episode. So nobody's buying that you have all kinds of sexy time with Charles. Y'all look like y'all really fight way more than you have sex. Okay, there's nothing wrong with it. I do like y'all as a couple, but please stop making it out like Charles is just, hot and heavy for you, baby, because you're going to lose. You're going to lose with that if you keep it up, because he loves to embarrass you for a little bit anyway. Anyway, that's how the scene ends. I still like that Charles is showing up in all the scenes for Angela. I think that, especially since nobody else is, everybody else's husband outside of Pinky Cole's, they're not showing up. Pinky Cole and Dennis. Dennis is going to come running anytime Porsha asks, okay? All right, now let's talk about Porsha and Fedra for a little bit, you guys. So Porsha ends up stopping over to Phaedra's house, and they have a real cute moment with Phaedra's oldest son, Aiden. You'll have to watch it. I'm not going to talk about it, child. Anyway, I'm going to say that Aiden looks exactly like a light-skinned Phaedra, at least right now. He still has his baby face. I'm sure that as he, matures and his cheeks and stuff slims down a little bit, he'll look a little more like Apollo. But right now he is in the baby face stage, that young man baby face stage, and he looked just like his mama, just light skinned. Okay. But he is adorable, cute as a button. And it was all yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, when he was talking to Miss Porsha. And I was like, baby, let that little boy go to sleep. He asked to go to sleep. Let him go to sleep. Okay. She said, Charles is not into PDA at all. At all. Let that boy go to sleep. Anyway, Phaedra said that she don't expect to have any problems out of Pinky Cole, because they are about to head over to the very restaurant on the east side. Okay, the Edgewood location, I think she said, on the east side, that is actually in that damn bankruptcy filing, the one that she owes rent to. I think that's what they said. So I think that's what she said. So she said she better not give her no problems, because she's done her research, in other words. And if y'all did not see the faces that Phaedra was making at this event toward Pinky, ooh, Phaedra looked like, bitch, I'm going to keep it cute for now, but don't make me. And I think that she's going to make her by the time the season's over with. But anyway, that's how it ended. Also, we got to see all of Porsha's backside in its glory, child. I think Phaedra said something like, I like butts of all sizes. You don't always have a big double Dutch butt. Sometimes you have a little flatty waddy. She called it a flatty waddy. Anyways, I'm more of a flatty waddy than I am a damn double Dutch size when it comes to Porsha Williams. Okay. So I thought that was hilarious, but yeah, Porsha knows that she is dragging a donkey back there. Anyway, let's move on to Pinky Cole's event. This was actually a very short episode. So Pinky opens the scene, letting everybody know that she was the child of a scratching and surviving mama and a daddy who spent 30 years in the pokey, literally was put in prison the year of her birth. So she said, you know what? Anybody who thinks that she's not a hard worker and that she didn't, she doesn't know what it is to be scrutinized and work under pressure. She said, fuck you. Okay, so don't think that I just got it easy. I've gotten it out the mud and I know what it looks like to work hard and under pressure. So I really don't care what people say, which is good. I love to hear those kind of stories because people really don't understand the pressure that people are under. And even though people condemn people, right? Oh, she comes from a broken family. Her mama was on welfare. Her daddy, I think she said her mama worked 4 jobs. So her mama specifically wasn't on welfare. But there's this mentality that people who are raised in families that struggle, that they're not, productive people in the world. That's part of the administration that we're fighting right now. I love that Pinky Cole started that scene with, bitch, this is the family I grew up under. So don't tell me that what I have, I did not get on my own. And even this, what she has currently with the restaurants, amazing. But her entire career, the things that she's done in her career is noteworthy. Like it's amazing, right? So she said, I know people are out there talking shit about me, but they have no idea what they're talking about. And I could probably outdo them. You know what I'm saying? I could run circles around them. So let them talk. Let tongues wag if that's what they want to do. Anyway, all of the ladies are invited and everybody comes except for Drew. I think she was sick. I forgot, maybe had the flu or something. Anyway, Kelly arrives first and she goes over and starts chit-chatting with Kay. And for some reason, Kay tells Kelly that their common enemy is Porsha. Like, bitch, she did the same thing to me that she did to you. And why didn't you say something to her? She did say something to her. She was at the table. You saw it. You were the one who didn't say anything in the scene when you were so highly offended. You waited to talk to everybody and then you broke it down on Twitter and then you said something to her. But she was like, why didn't you say something to her? Now I can see she's slick. Kay, you're the one who's coming across as slick right now. But okay, cool. Either way, Kelly gives her a look like, I don't know if I want you on my team. I don't know if I want you on my team all the way. I need to stand on my own and make my own name because at the end of the day, you are K. Michelle. You have a name. You know what I'm saying? I'm Kelly. I don't want to be under your thumb. I want to be on my own. Interesting, because I said last week that Kelly was connected to everybody else on the show, trying to make a name for herself. But she's definitely like, I don't want to connect myself to Kay. That was the face she gave anyway. Anyway, when Porsha and Fedra walked into the door, child, Porsha became like on flight, like a little butterfly, hugging everybody. Hey, hey! I don't care if it was the people on the cast or the employees. She even went over and hugged Kelly's associate, somebody that she knew on Kelly's team, while Kelly was standing right beside him and ignored the shit out of her. She was like, hey, hug that, walked away. Anyway, I was like, there you have it. Kelly and the line is drawn in the sand. Porsha Williams is not effing with you for the rest of the season. After that, we get another scene where Pinky tells Fedra and Porsha, again, telling everybody, that she is filing for bankruptcy. Even though she was like, I know y'all heard it on the news, and that $89,000 in rent, I could wipe my ass with it. Porsha and Fedra are sitting here like this because they just got finished talking about your ass and the amount of money you owed. So now Fedra and Porsha are actually giving up each other a look. Y'all remember how Candy and Phaedra went to see Chateau Charest before it was built? It was still just dirt. And I think there was like a small, like dilapidated building with a toilet on the upstairs that you could see from the street. They literally was standing and staring at at Pinky Cole like, bitch, you tried it. You know damn well that $89,000 is killing you. Why she would say that to them is beyond me. But to have an event where you're asking for people in the community to come out, you know, we understand that everybody needs help. We're here to serve. And then make it seem like you could pay that yesterday. If you could, you would, boo. You wouldn't let this go to the news. You wouldn't let these people, you know, tell this story about you. Hold on one second, y'all. Okay. The fact that she was so bold in doing that, I don't know. I'm just looking at Pinky now like, I don't know. I don't know what to think about her yet. She's a little different. Anyway, after she says all of that, in confessional, Phaedra said, if you could wipe your ass with them people's money, then go on ahead and pay them and buy yourself some Sherman. Wipe your ass like everybody else does. This isn't funny to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to prove anything to me, girl. Like, get yourself together. And I don't blame her. I'm not going to sit here and make you feel good about this. This is, you know, whatever you got going on, you didn't have to tell me at all. So that was crazy. Anyway, after that, Pinky actually confronts Phaedra over this vegan bullshit, right? Well, hold on. Before we even get to that, Pinky actually makes a joke over Phaedra and Porsha and said, let me order y'all a sandwich based on your personality. And she called Phaedra a Hollywood hooker and Porsha a one-night stand. Okay. And she thought that shit was hilarious. Now, Porsha was laughing and said, bitch, don't do me. But she's laughing and saying, and, you know, trying to talk back at her. Phaedra, on the other hand, looked like, I don't play like that. That isn't funny to me. Which lets me know again that Phaedra and Pinky are going to have some words later. So after that joke, which Phaedra did not laugh at, and she did not give the camera anything. She was like, bitch, don't joke over me like that. Okay. Phaedra ends up saying that's when Pinky Cole confronts Phaedra about this dry ass rumor saying, girl, I heard you're out here saying that I eat meat and, you know, that could ruin my business. I sit on the board for this and that and for PETA and the other. And Phaedra said, I didn't say that at all. And then it comes up that Shamia is the one who spread the rumor. And Shamia said, I absolutely heard you say it. You did say it. Phaedra says, roll the camera back. Roll the camera back right now because I'm so sick and tired of this girl trying to make it seem like I did something. And if y'all remember last year, Shamia did the exact same thing. Every time there was an incident, Shamia would actually escalate it, even though it wasn't anything at all. She escalates things. And I think Porsha said it too. She was like, when I look back at the scene, it was Shamia who told me but when I look back at the scene, it wasn't hardly what she told me. It was like, you know, just a little pinch. But either way, doesn't matter. They roll it back. She didn't. Angela hangs on to it. And it's like, y'all know Phaedra's a liar. Girl, you should be the last person also trying to hang on to what Shamia said because you trick Shamia half the time. You actually would trick Shamia the majority of the time last season. So far, I like Pinky on the show, even though she is a little odd. Anyway, Pinky lets us know that she used to be a producer over there on the Maury Povich show. They even brought Maury Povich on to do a little test about her being a vegan. And yeah, she's 19 years a vegan. Good for her. Again, you did used to eat meat. So who gives a shit? You're 19 years now. That's a lifestyle change. Good for you. But if your husband is a whole is your husband eats meat, sells meat, your entire household eats meat, you're the only vegan. Stop saying that your husband is the only meat you eat. Ugh. Just say, I used to, I don't anymore. Period. I am almost 2 decades into being a vegan. It's the best lifestyle choice I could have ever made, which is why I'm so passionate about what I do. You should have a snappy comeback for that. Anyway, I don't like that you keep drilling this, and I hope that we don't hear it again. I hope it's buried, okay? Now we have Phaedra and Shamia into it, baby, because Phaedra does not like Shamia, never has, ever since she thought that she was trying to fuck on Apollo. We all remember that. Now, even though Phaedra and Apollo are donezo, you still are going to hold those thoughts or those feelings about a person. And she does. She clearly does. So she said, I don't know what's up with Shamia. She never liked me. And I don't know why she would be spreading these rumors about me, even talking, crazy over my kids. And Shamia's like, I didn't talk crazy over your kids. And then they play it back, and she made a comment about how she would rather, Cynthia, be the godmother of her children because she's done such a great job with Noel. And in comparison, she was making it seem like Phaedra didn't do a good job with her children. That's how one would take it, because kids should not have even been brought up. She should have said, I just love the way she raised Noel. Not that Phaedra didn't raise her boys the right way, but I really like Noel. That seemed like a better way to put it. But she left it kind of open-ended, like, hell, Phaedra's sons might be, the next one in line to go to prison. And Phaedra said, I caught the shade, bitch, so don't play with me. That's just how it's been between us since back in the day. Anyway, Cynthia gets Shamia to say, Cynthia actually says, listen, Phaedra's boys are good boys. They, lovely, smart as a whip. Don't you think so, Shamia? Shamia was like, yeah. I mean, I don't take it back that I would prefer Cynthia over you, but I can't help how you interpreted that. Baby, she interpreted the way you said it. Anybody who have children would feel that way, including you. And since you do have children, you're very sensitive to what you would say over other people's children. That's just what it is. But I like how you try to clean it up. And then at the end, she thought she was going to get a big one off by saying, well, Phaedra, I do like you. And Phaedra went, never returned the sentiment because she wasn't. And she went, okay, thank you. Now I like you back. Just, okay. Anyway, I was like, see, again, I know that the newbies think that they're going to take a little jab at the OGs, but you guys are going to lose. Phaedra is literally sitting on an arsenal of things that she's going to drop when she gets ready. And I cannot wait, okay? Shamia was being shady when she made the comment, but she wasn't talking about kids. Nope, didn't say she was talking about kids, but do believe that saying, I choose this one because I like the way that child was raised is definitely a slight. You are saying that you don't like the way that her kids were parented or whatever the case may be. And she also knows that she's probably sensitive to that, because I do believe that it was Apollo's second wife who came out and made all types of comments about how Phaedra was a bad mother. So she knew what the fuck she was doing. Just like when Britt was making those comments about her and saying, girl, if you had a problem with the nurse and what she did to your child, why didn't you take your ass to the house? Why did you land in Atlanta and didn't even leave the airport to fly to Florida? Like, it made no sense to me. Everybody's going to be sensitive about somebody saying something about there being a mother on the show. And listen, Real Housewives was the first to establish children are off limits. When Sheree and Nene got into it, after that, everybody made a pact to never talk about anybody's children. These newbies got to get on board. You're not supposed to, and I understand not talk about children, but you're not supposed to say anything that could be interpreted a certain way over kids. Don't do it. And I agree. Anyway, after Shamia and Phaedra get into it a little bit, Pinky shut them both down, told them both, child, not here. Okay. I already saw what y'all did last year at Kenya shit, and how when production shuts down the event, everybody goes home. But I got 5,000 book bags left that we still need to get out the door. So y'all won't be doing that shit here. These people got to get their stuff. And I got to clear this out. Okay. So she literally shut them down, and that's how the scene ends. Okay. All right. Take the poll, y'all. Let's talk about Porsha and Dennis. Ooh. I told y'all, I don't know if anybody has a baby daddy like this, but I bet you if you do, their girlfriend cannot stand you. If you have a baby daddy like Dennis, the girlfriend cannot stand you. And I'm sure they have done all kinds of stuff. The girlfriend, the new wife, the fiance, whoever they are, because let's face it, Dennis may not be a looker, but there has to be something about this man when you are in person with him that is like kryptonite to the ladies. For whatever reason, Dennis be bringing bitches down. Everybody wants to be with him. Okay. And if they are with him, they can't forget him either. That's the other thing. He's the type of man that stays on your mind. And we know this by this scene right here. Porsha got married to a whole nother man, been with a man and a woman before Dennis walks in this house. And he knocks on the door of Porsha's beautiful ass home. Porsha answers it. As soon as Dennis walks in, he takes off his shoes like he's been there before many times, and he knows the drill. Okay? He comes in and he gives Porsha like a handshake kind of thing, and then kind of chest bumps her. And she was trying to hug him. And she said, "What is this handshake? What is this hand thing you're doing to me?" Because that's not how they normally greet. And the second that happened, I said, I bet you Dennis doesn't want the new girlfriend to see this scene and think that there's anything going on between them, because there is something going on between them. They have a lot of chemistry still, and you can tell that they have a lot of chemistry. But the fact that he did that the second he came in the house and she said, "What are you doing?" I said, oh, she's not used to handshaking with him. They hug. And we also know this because when he goes over to hug Lauren, he hugged her for about 30 seconds too fucking long. Not because he likes her, but because he likes the family. He likes Lauren as his sister. He thinks of her as her family. Lauren is sitting on the couch. Dennis comes from behind the couch and she stands up to hug him, and he's squeezing her. And I was like, oh my God. Then he comes around, sits on the couch beside Lauren, and immediately sees flowers. And I'm like, oh shit. And he's like, where the flowers come from? And Porsha literally, when she's drinking her drink, she looks at the flowers like, fuck. And then she goes over and takes out the card and tries to throw it away, I'm assuming, because we see her put it on the counter. But when he comes back in, he starts looking in the trash for it. So she must have put it someplace else, right? Anyway, all of those were signs for me. Like, okay, this man is way too, he's too interested and involved in what she has going on. Hey, everybody, welcome to the chat. Nice to have y'all. So he ends up asking about PJ. Good move. Because like I said, you're interested in everybody else's shit. So he's like, where's PJ? Like, that's the reason why you're supposed to be there. And she tells him she's upstairs. And then we get a designer. I'm assuming it's a podcast designer that he sets up spaces so that, the audio and everything will be good for the podcast. And she has it outside by the pool. And they go outside to review the space, to look at the space. Dennis doubles back in the house to find the card. And he finds it. And the card says, I want you. Dennis comes back outside. Porsha's, trying to fill this designer in. And Porsha accidentally calls the man babe. Babe, did you? Oh, I mean, Dennis, not babe, not babe. This is my baby daddy, not babe. Too late. Too late. Porsha gets in her confessional and she said that was muscle memory, a complete and total mistake. Plus, I'm drinking this damn Hennessy or whatever the hell she was drinking. And she said, I didn't mean to do it. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Again, you were married. You were with that man for 3.5 years. You've been laying down with other people already. And the fact that Dennis walked in that room has brought back old feelings of the two of you together again. Already. Like you forgot. And you're yelling at him, but you got the same problem. Both of y'all have the same problem. Y'all like each other. Okay, y'all love each other. You still haven't forgotten it. And Pinky Cole was sitting over there on Watch What Happens Live. And she literally said, I know Dennis, and I used to hang out with Dennis and Porsha back in the day, and I want them to get back together. He's never had a relationship like the one he's had with Porsha. That was on Sunday night. Pinky Cole said that. Okay. So anyway, I was like, that's unfortunate for y'all. That's unfortunate for y'all because again, all you're doing, Dennis, is setting things up so that every woman that comes into your life, they're never going to be secure ever, 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 ever. They're never going to feel secure. Anyway, Dennis ends up holding up the card. Lauren snatches it out of his hand and dips it in the pool. He already saw it. Hell, he was just bringing the card out to say, I saw it. He didn't need you to take the card and run with it. Porsha said, why did you go back in my house to get the card? And he said, so what you got going on? Who you dating? And she was like, why does it matter? Why is this even a thing? We are not together anymore. Our lives is taking care of our daughter, and we're supposed to actually be in a professional relationship if it goes down. Because not only are we doing a podcast as parents with our daughter, but you and I are supposed to work together in a podcast. Kiss that relationship goodbye. If he's in a real relationship, kiss it goodbye because, baby, you're not going to let that man go do a podcast with Porsha for 3-4 hours a day or whatever the time frame is and come back to you. He'll be calling you Porsha all day. They don't even know each other's names no more. Okay. But she said, baby, why? So this mother, he ends up looking at her. He looks at her like he's Shrek or something. You know what I'm saying? He has a whole, I don't know. He looks like Shrek to me, but his shoulders are back. He looked like he got a slew back with his butt pokes out. His belly is, overlapping the pants. And then he pretends to sneeze twice. Achoo, achoo. Porsha looking at him like, are you sick? What is going on? And he said, you ain't going to bless me. And now she knows what it is. So she starts laughing because she realized he's trying to, he knows that she's been dating that big bowling head ass Mike Bless. And there's the kryptonite right there. And she is literally laughing and falling all over him, like hitting him on the shoulder, like, this is what this is about, Mike Bless. And he said, yeah. Porsha says in her confessional, I think the man got a camera in this house. He knows everything I do in the midnight hour. Why? How? We don't even live in the same area. Why would this even happen? Not to mention the fact that he has a girlfriend. Why would he be doing this to me? Thanks for letting everybody know, child. If Simon was jealous about anybody, it should have been Dennis. And we all saw it in that damn Porsha Family Matters. We knew what that was. You had better chemistry with Dennis than you did your own husband right then and there. But Dennis says to her, listen, and this is when Lauren stepped in. Dennis tells her, You can't date anybody that I know. We need rules. You can't date anybody that I know that lives in the same building as me. And he said it in the most Detroit accent ever. When Dennis is like serious, that Detroit accent pops out like a it's so he speaks super fast. I almost needed subtitles. He said, nobody that I know, Dennis, you know the whole city. You are basically telling her to stitch it up. Don't date nothing. Don't date anyone I know. And when I say anyone I know, Dennis knows men and women. He's friends with everybody. And nobody that lives in the same building with me. Anyway, Porsha said, no, this is not, we're not doing this, Dennis. You don't have any say so over me. And Dennis said, listen, you need to run every man you date, anybody you date past me, because your picker is off. You don't know how to pick a man. Porsha said, well, bitch, I picked you. Were you a problem? Because clearly you were. And he said Simon was a problem. This is where it jumps in. Simon was a problem, and I told you that. I didn't like him. I knew it was going to end the way it did. And now Porsha's pissed. Like you could see it all over her face. Like, why would you bring that motherfucker up? Okay. And she said, well, it's interesting that you were in that photo, that picture that you took, making it seem like you agreed with it. And he said, I didn't agree with it. You had me on People magazine looking like a damn simp. Okay? I was looking like a simp, but that's what you wanted. And I wanted you to be happy. They are hashing this out in a way that they didn't even do last season. And it's still coming back up. And this is what, 3-4 years they've been broken up, maybe longer, 5 years that they've been broken up. And he is still heartbroken. Hell, maybe longer than that. It could be 6 years. How old is Pilar? It might be 6 years. And Dennis is still harboring feelings about the entire thing and getting it off his chest to the point of where Lauren had to come in to interject, run interference between them. And the two of them are looking at Lauren like, he did it, she did it, he did it. And she's just like, what is going on? So they really can't with each other, not even for the mommy daddy podcast shit. Whatever this podcast you got going on with your child, I don't even think y'all can do it for that. They have strong feelings. All right. Anyway, long story short, Dennis tells Porsha to sit her hot ass down somewhere and meditate for at least 6 months before she goes dating anybody else. Work it out in here and down here. Put it on pause, put it on ice. And I want to know how y'all feel about that. Do y'all agree with him coming in her house and telling her to pause and not date anybody else for at least 6 months, even though he has a woman at home? Okay. Dennis got a woman at home. Shantae got a man at home. Dennis got a woman at home. And this is what she's going to see. That's what she saw on Sunday night, which would have pissed me off. That's not for cameras. Don't let people convince you that that's for cameras, okay? Because we all know that that is bull crap. But let me give you guys the poll results. All right, so I asked the question. Is it cool for Dennis to ask Porsha to run any man by him that she plans on dating first so that he can, weed it out for her? 25% of y'all said yes. You're okay with Dennis weeding out Porsha's men because his child is there. While 75% of you said no, it's none of his business. That's a huge amount of people that thinks that he should. I would say no, because I think that Dennis has been doing what he wanted to do for a very long time. And I don't think that Porsha gives him the same rules, because if she did, he definitely would have said something about it. So if Portia's not giving him those rules and Dennis dates a lot of people, I don't think that it should be that way for her. That's what I think. But I do like to see what you guys have to say. And if you're watching the replay, go ahead and put it in the comment section. All right, last scene is Pinky and Dave. All right, so I told y'all last week that I thought that Pinky is clearly a very strong woman. I do think that she's going to recoup all of her businesses and make even more money. That she's going to get the debt paid off. She'll probably be out of bankruptcy in less than 5 years, probably 3, maybe faster than that. But Pinky and Dave are an interesting couple. Pinky lies a lot to that man. And I don't know why, because it's on television. Not only does she lie a lot to him, she omits a lot. I don't know what their relationship actually is. Is it a friendship? Is it just sex? Like, what is it? I know that you both came to the table with your own businesses that you had before you even met each other. I know that Dave tells a story about how his business blew up. It was during the pandemic, and he basically cut a lot of his operations out, staff and overhead and stuff. And he said he basically made $1 million in like 6 months or something like that. And he said he's been making money hand over fist since then. But like I said, he's allegedly worth $100 million, according to Kelly. Pinky Cole, I told you I was going to tell y'all a story. Pinky Cole has always had hiccups in her business, but her actual business itself is fire. The concept, slutty vegan, all of it is fire, right? But I remember a story that was told over there on the Friend Zone by a guy named Asante, who I guess lived in Atlanta or maybe born and raised here. And he knows Pinky Cole personally. And he said that she had a pop-up shop in New York where she was serving slutty vegan, right? And he said that the line was blocks wrapped around the corner for blocks, and that her entire staff, the people that she had brought with her to New York from Atlanta, all quit. Like the majority of them quit. And she was like sitting on a stoop crying, and he had walked past her, saw her and said, "Bitch, I'm putting on an apron, let's go." But I know that she seems to have a lot of people who just can't take the pressure of whatever it is that she is, putting out as a product or something, because there's a lot of stories like that, including the staff now. Like, she got sued by her employees for not paying wages, and a lot of them had really horrible things to say about her. Now, with all of that said, it does not mean she doesn't have a fire product. And I think that she's really just one of those people that has to have her finger in everything. She's probably a micromanager, and that's probably where things go a little crazy for her. But that being said, she's walking down the street with her husband. They seem to be having a playful moment, and then she wants to get serious. And she says to him, "I filed for bankruptcy," or "I'm filing for bankruptcy." And he stops and looks at her like, I don't know if this is the first time he's heard that, but he's like, "Are you serious?" She said, "Yeah." He said, "How much? How much do you owe?" And she says, $5 million. When this entire couple of episodes, this is the fourth episode. For the last 3 episodes, she said she owed $20 million. It put me $20 million in debt. She says to him, $5 million. And I'm sitting there like, well, isn't he going to see the show? Like, I'm so confused about y'all relationship. It makes no sense to me. So when she says that, I'm like, if this was a man and we watched this and he said that to his wife, and I don't care how much money the wife had, we would all be flipping the fuck out. Like, girl, that man is lying to you. What else is he trying to hide? Why wouldn't you tell him in the first place? Or why wouldn't he tell you? But watching this in reverse and how she just says it, and he's like, I'm not going to let you file bankruptcy for $5 million. I got it. Like, why wouldn't you just ask me? Why is it that you don't tell me anything that you're going through, that I have to hear this shit on the news? I'm over here building an empire. I'm making money hand over fist. I don't even know what to do with half the money I got. Okay. And you're sitting here struggling when you know I can help you and you won't let me. And she's like, it's not your burden to carry, excuse me. It's not your burden to carry. And I'm like, Pinky, if I need clarity. I realize we're only on episode 4, and I really like a strong woman who gets their own, but I don't know why she wouldn't just tell the truth. There's a lot of lies that she tells that man. You already saw the bankruptcy attorney. You've told everybody, because he even said, who else knows about this? The entire town. All of the entire world knows about this before you. And he's begging her, you got to let me in. She's not. If you're not leaning on him as your husband for that, because bitch, let me tell you something. When you say I filed bankruptcy, I want to go to my own bankruptcy attorney. I would like to know if my wife's bankruptcy or husband's bankruptcy, if they filed, how does that affect me? How does that affect properties that we own? He didn't even ask her what chapter of bankruptcy she filed. There's a disconnect there that's not making sense to me. And if y'all are just, roommates who got pregnant 3 times, say that. If y'all just want to give the appearance of a power couple, say that. Because what you have is not a power couple. That's what I was expecting to see. But we're already on episode 4, and you don't talk to that man. You don't trust him with whatever business dealings you have. And the other thing, you tell Porsha and Fedra, I could wipe my ass with $89,000. Okay. But when you tell it to him, you're crying. Oh, it's already, everybody already knows that I'm in this. I was like, how many Pinky Coles? How many Pinky Coles are up in there? Girl, we didn't see about 4 versions of you on 4 different episodes. I'm enjoying it. I'm not going to lie. I'm not saying it to say you shouldn't be on the show. I'm just saying, wow. Wow. This is a lot. This is a lot. Hold on, chat. Let me see. You said Pinky and her marriage is off to me. Yes. Bingo. Something is off, extremely off. Pinky is starting to look like a liar. She has something going on. And listen, again, that doesn't mean she's not brilliant, because the girl did build an empire. It's just that she is a different mind. And I'm looking to see what it is and why she is being so just not sharing with her husband. Like, you went from 20 million to 5 million to I could wipe my ass with 89,000 to when you're telling it to K Michelle and telling it to Kelly. I don't know how I got in this situation. And when you cried to the bankruptcy attorney, it wasn't even me that got in. It was somebody else. And I don't want to bring my husband bring me the fuck into it. I better hear that you're filing bankruptcy and your empire fell down from you before I hear it on the news. The fact that he said, everything that's happening to you, I hear on the news. Do you talk to her? Do you ask her questions? When you ask her questions, does she lie to your face? I don't know. There's something wrong, and that's all I'm saying. And we'll see. We got what? This is a 4th episode. We got 11 episodes to go. I'm assuming 15 episodes this season before we hit the reunion. I can't wait to see the rest. But I'm gonna tell you one thing: if this is how yo-yo-y you appear to us, the audience, Phaedra's gonna wipe the floor with you, girl. Like, I need to see your fight side, because all Phaedra do is call people and get private investigators and whatever else the shit is, so that she can put one in her pocket, one in the chamber. Right now, she got all the chambers filled with your shit. So you might want to pull back on the lion stuff. It ain't going to work out. It just ain't going to work out. You said they will be divorced by next season. I'm not wishing any divorce on anyone. I mean, they've been in this for a long time, it seems like. They've been married for a while. Their marriage just does not seem, clearly, it's not a traditional marriage. But we need to know how they came to the table with their businesses, because when two powerhouses marry, do you say at the beginning, what I do is none of your business, what you do is none of my business? Did you sign prenuptials? What happened? Because if I need 5 million and you got it, and I know what my product is, and I know that I should be 200 million strong by the end of the year, if you don't give me that funky ass $5 million, give it up. You know what I'm saying? Even if he had to sign some sort of note or contract, what were you afraid of to ask him for it? And I understand you saying, I want to do it myself, kinda, but why? Why go into a hole to start another venture? Why have your name out here in the streets for other properties? When she was on Watch What Happens Live, she said that the home that was in the news about the I guess the landlord was able to snatch it from her through the court. And she went back to court and said, no, this was supposed to be protected under Chapter 13, I think she had, or Chapter 11, which basically is just a restructure of debt. Whatever she's under is a restructure of debt. It's a promise to pay it, but it's a restructure of how they move forward. She was able to get that property back, and she said, that mansion is one that I rent. I rent that mansion. The one that I live in, we still live in, never moved out of. I still own all my cars. I own everything that I owned previously. It's just how I pay things back. Cool. If I was your husband, I think your husband has the right to know first that you're filing bankruptcy. I think he has the right to know so he can call people and make sure that his interests are protected. Even if you told him that you didn't do it, it's a smart move to do it. Just like anybody, your grandma, your big auntie, your big mama, if they found out that man was filing bankruptcy, they'd all be like, Pinky, you better go to the lawyer and find out for yourself to make sure that the rug doesn't get pulled from up under you. I don't like what she's doing right now. And I don't want to be over here high-fiving or whatever for Dave, because he don't look like he's screwed on too tight either. He don't look like he's screwed on too tight. I mean, you saw how Gerald was acting with Shamia when he said this whole entire brand deal sucks. Okay, you're not ready to move forward with her, and then jumped up out of seat. Y'all might think that I'm just an air conditioner guy, but numbers got to make sense to me. I don't know if numbers make sense to him. I think he's a guy who has a whole bunch of other people who does his work, and they might know, you know what I'm saying? That if I want to get slippery with them, I will, just like people got slippery with Pinky. And right now, it seems to me, again, if somebody mullied up my business the way Pinky said people she trusted mullied up hers, that shit you share with your partner. This is what these motherfuckers did to me. I'm about to tell you everything so that it doesn't happen to you. Their businesses are way too separate. The way they think about how they are protecting each other is disgusting. I don't like it. But I'm here for it. I'm here to watch every second. Okay? Let's see. That's it, y'all. That's how it ended. Yeah, I can't wait to see what happens next week. I don't have a scene stealer, but if I had one, it would be Dennis, but he's already in the scene. Y'all see it. He's in that picture right there. Dennis is definitely the scene snatcher. Dennis is the scene snatcher. Okay. But yeah, that was it. It was a good episode. I'm gonna rank it like a solid, I'm gonna give it a solid 10. It was still a 10. And I do like everybody's storyline so far. I'm looking forward to seeing how Drew is going to perform for the rest of the season. I know that she is going through a lot. I hate that for her because I read something, I don't know how true it is, but I read something that said Drew, young Drew, who I believe is still in her 30s, if I'm not mistaken, signed over $30,000+ a month to her husband as as the manager, I guess. So we were all trying to figure out how he was making $70,000 a month because he takes 30 of it from Drew. That's not funny, but that's disgusting. And oh my goodness, I hate that. I hate that for her. And I hope that there's a way that she can fix that. Like he wouldn't get that for the rest of his days, kind of thing. I like Angela. She's very nice at BravoCon. Kelly is very nice. All right, y'all. That's it. That's the show. But I do appreciate every single one of y'all for coming over and hanging out with me today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please hit the like button, share the video. Come back and hype me up if you will. If you are watching the replay, don't forget to hit the like button and share the video. Also, hype me up. Follow me on all platforms at DYANAROZAY. And until the next one, bye-bye.